Well, what have we got ourselves here? We have ourselves a lovely Epiphone SG. Some people actually say that the Epiphone SG is better than the Gibson SG, but that is a matter of taste, isn't it? Now what's that? That looks like a scratch there. I'm looking at it the same as you. That is a deep scratch in the head. Might be able to do something with that, yes. Tuners all seem fine. I'm looking at it at exactly the same time as you. Right. The head, let me just change my glasses. Look a bit closer. The head looks fine. What's the action like? Not bad, not bad. Pretty good indeed. Can't see the other one too closely when I got the camera, but that looks pretty good. Right, what's the frets are like? Frets pretty good too. Fretboard just needs a cleanup. New pickups put in. I can't make the warming. I understand they're very good. Nice pickups. Where the 4 screws have gone to, I don't know. I have screws that I'll put in there if the owner wants them. Everything looks to be working well. Let's look at the neck. After our experiences with the Harley Benton, let's have a look at this neck and see that it does not have the same experience. No, that looks pretty damn good. Pretty damn good indeed. Okay, there you go. Okay, look for any sort of scratches, dents. There's nothing that I can see. There's a tiny little dent there, which some, go on, focus, which some lipstick would, I just don't happen to have my lipstick with me. Let's look at the back. Right, lipstick at the back. No, lipstick at the back, what are you talking about? Looks in pretty clean condition. And the tuner's arms are good. Neck has got a scratch or two there. Let's just see, put it down there and get it in focus. There's a couple of little marks there. It's hard to stay in focus with that color. A couple of little marks, don't know what they are. What are they? Something. Okay, looking at the little red SG. I'm going to test the electrics now. Where's the plug? Where's the plug? Right, okay, the plug's there. Switch on. You're listening to this in headphones? You shouldn't be. Right, okay. Yeah, it's okay, it's not dirty. If you plug that in and it crackles, it's just dirty. Pickups on the treble side. Middle, both. Where is that? Right, rhythm. Okay, fine. Volume. Rhythm volume. Treble volume. Fine. So the electrics are all working, there's no noises, switches don't sound noisy, so it's all pretty good. We'll check the straightness of the neck now and see what we got. Okay, there we go. Yeah. If I was saying it's just a bit too bold, which would give you a little bit of, yeah, it's just a bit too much on it, so just need to tighten the truss rod a bit, because the bow is that way more than it should be. Just a bit, just needs to go back down a little bit flatter. And the neck looks straight. I'll check the frets. for rocking. No. Where are you? I'm only checking them gently. I'll check both sides if I get any reaction at all to the tiny bit of rocking all the way down there, but when I ease the neck down you may find that a lot of that disappears, so we'll have another look at it after I've eased the neck. They're okay. So it's mostly there, we get a little bit of rocking. Okay, I'll do all that off camera and come back till ye. Okay, I've just adjusted that, so let's just adjust the, see if it loosens. Oh, it's loosening. That's good, it's loosening. Let's see what we got from loosening. Yeah, it's a little bit upside down. It's a little bit bold in the middle. Let's see if it tightens. And tighten it up there and tighten. Yeah, it's tightening. Yeah, okay. Let's see what that gives us. Whoa, perfection. Now, what I'm going to do is just give it a look at this. The frets is somewhere up there. I don't see anything major there. Let me just check to see this. Nope, no more rocking. The rocking stopped. Tiny bit. I don't even think it's worth looking at. The rocking stopped because the neck was like that there, which made those frets sit funny. So now that the neck's dead flat, there's no rocking. So I'll just go over it lightly with sandpaper to level it the slightest bit and polish the frets. I might not even need to crown them, but we'll see. We'll look at it. And then oil the frets. Okay, that's it. Do that off camera. Ciao, bye. I'm just going to polish fret with 1500 grits polish, because I've already given it a quick level. I'm just going to do one fret to let you see it being polished. There is a little bit of wear on that, but I don't want to take the fret down because it doesn't need it. So why do it now when you can do it in 5 years or 10 years time? That's hardly anywhere at all, and that gives it a bit of a polish. It looks lovely. So I'm going to take the tape off and go down each one and polish each one individually, just like that. Tommy Cooper, just like that. There you go. Look at that, beautiful. A nice SG guitar. It's nice and light. Okay, I'm going to go down the whole thing. Maybe take a little bit more of that off. This is 1500 sandpaper, but I'm not going to take much off that. That's lovely. Okay, back again. Unfortunately, I don't have the facilities here to get rid of that scratch. I tried a few tricks, but none of it works. It's a scratch that I can feel with my nail going along it. It can be fixed, and it can be fixed quite easily. I think it actually can be polished out, maybe with 2000 grit sandpaper. But the problem with this is that, and I have the 2000, excuse me sniffing, I have the 2000 grit paper, but this is a high gloss head, and I don't have the facilities here to bring this back to high gloss if I start to sand that out and buff this out. So that would have to be done by somebody with the facilities. In other words, once they've sanded that out, they have a buffer which would bring the guitar back up to the gloss again. Now I do have buffers. I have a set of buffers that are over there which I can use, but I don't like experimenting. I haven't used them before, they're brand new, but I don't like experimenting on something that is somebody's pride and joy. So I'm going to string this Epiphone SG which is not exciting. But I thought I'd make a confession. Lord of the luthiers, forgive me. Hey, go on in there. Thank you. I recently did a handmade guitar, and the three-way switch was broken on it. And because it was broken, it really needed to be replaced. But because it was a handmade guitar, the body was ultra slim. So I love these tuners, by the way. The self-tightening tuners. I just love them. All guitars should be, it should be a law to enforce people to have the self-tightening tuners. Not self-tightening, but the locking tuners. I just love them. Luthiers must love them all, if they're good quality, that is, you know. Anyway, going back to my confession, I couldn't replace the switch because it was too shallow, and had been specially ground down to fit the width of the body. Why is that not tightening? Come on, tighten up. Thank you. It is tightening now. So all I could do was take the switch apart and repair it, which I did. There were several little faults inside it. But the knob on the top, oh, let me just correct something. I tested the switch and it didn't give, it did the front pickup and it did the back pickup, but it wouldn't do the middle pickup. When you went to the middle pickup, it just did the front pickup. So I thought that was a fault in the switch and I couldn't fix it. So I thought, right, okay, well, I can't fix that because that's a built-in fault of the switch. So, but it came to me like that, and it wasn't a problem for the customer. The customer seemed to be aware. That's the option. That's the word that's important here. Seemed to be aware that it wasn't working on both pickups, but would work on the front pickup and back pickup. It's not this guitar I'm talking about, by the way. It's a handmade guitar. So I fixed the switch. Put that in there. I fixed the switch, got it all working, but I still couldn't get the two pickups to work together. But I fixed the switch. The knob was broken. You can't replace the knob because it had been broken off at the steel level. So I did a whole fancy thing. I drilled a hole and I welded and I screwed and I built an epoxy resin knob, right? And I did all that. But I still was very uncomfortable about the fact that I couldn't get the switch to work in the middle position because it had been so badly damaged on the inside. I thought. So when I did all that, I had a lovely working guitar, was all lovely leveled and everything, and the switch was working and everything, and then the customer came to pick it up and I took it out of the boot of my car and I clipped the switch and broke the knob that I'd spent hours on fixing. And I thought, no, I can't give you back this. It's been faulty, but I can't give you back this. And then we discussed the fact that there was no two pickup switch, and he said, oh, there was when I gave it to you. And I thought, oh God, well, let me have it back again, and I'll get this sorted out. He said, no, give it to me now. So it's fine. He said it's all right. He said it would not a problem. It'll work. Blah blah blah. He says you just have to fiddle it and it'll come on in the middle. But I did do that fiddling and I did do that, and it doesn't work. But my mistake, never let anything go back to the customer unless it's 100% and the customer agrees with it. You know, I thought the switch was already broken and it couldn't be fixed. I was wrong in that assumption because the customer said to me that it was working, right? But I gave it back to him as he suggested, and I asked him twice since then to give it back to me. I'd pick it up and give it back to him and everything, get it organized, because I don't like the switch going out without being fixed, but he won't respond to my text now. So that's annoyed me because I don't like anything going out that's not 100%, and I don't have an opportunity now to fix it. So it was my fault for assuming that the switch was not was irreparable because it had been broken inside. And he tells me it wasn't, it was working. And he wasn't nasty about it, he was very nice about it, but he took it away, and now I cannot get him to respond to me again, and I do want it back again to get it fixed. So I'm not a happy puppy, but I've learned a lesson. Never let anything go out unless you're 100% happy with it or the customer's aware of it. Right, I'm going to tune this up, and I'm not going to bore you doing it, but I thought I'd tell you that little story. So my lesson is never assume. I thought it seemed like it was broken permanently, but I assumed. And the second thing is never let it leave your workshop unless it's the way, because you'll be happy with it to go out. So, lesson learnt. Won't do that again. Okay, time to set the intonation. The guitar's been sitting for a couple of hours tuned up. It'll probably not stay in tune because of brand new strings, but the battery's nearly out of my camera, so we'll get on with it. I'm using a digital iPhone tuner, which is excellent, I must admit. Best that I've seen. I've already done the tuning and intonation on this, but I know it'll go out again, so that's pretty good. Bit flat. Perfect. Perfect. Doesn't need touched. Perfect. Perfect. So E slightly flat. A slightly flat. D's perfect. So it's only the E and A are slightly flat. I'll adjust them, and then this guitar can go home to its daddy. Nice and clean, just about to send it home. Going to do a little test run. Put the truss rod cover back on and trim those crazy wires. I noticed that the jack socket's a bit loose, so I'll tighten that up, but it's the only thing that's loose, and this guitar's going home. What I might suggest to the owner is, I don't think he wants to drill holes in this. They're pretty well mounted. I don't know how I'm not sure exactly how they're mounted, but they're pretty well mounted and they work. And rather than drilling 8 holes in it, you could just snap the heads off the screws and put a little bit of glue, not permanent glue, but some of that sticky impact glue they call it, and that will set the screws in there. And if someday in future he wants to have a little play and drill holes and put screws in, he can do, but he just snap the head off, put a little bit of impact glue, and they'll stay in there well, as long as he doesn't with a nice clean unit. But rather than drilling holes in the pick guard, these are replacement pickups that he put in himself, but rather than drilling holes in the pick guard, he can do that, and then if he ever sells this, he can just return the Epiphone pickups back to the guitar, and no one will notice the difference. Here we are again with an Epiphone SG. Done a setup on it. Tried to hide a couple of little scratches that couldn't be fixed. Leveled the frets slightly. Cleaned and oiled the frets. Not much to do there. The neck's good and solid. The owner needn't worry about that. Lowered the string holder down. It was far too high, which was causing a little bit of a vibration, so I lowered it down right to the bottom. The bridge was far too high as well, but it was high because the neck was in the wrong position. So the neck now has a position that is slightly bent like that. It was flat, slightly flat wrong way. Now it's slightly that way, which is the way I like to set it. There's good action across the whole guitar now. It's working very well. see, it's all sounding very good. Everything's working well. There's not much to say about it. A little chip at the bottom, which I don't have the right color for, but a bit of nail varnish will fix that up. I bluffed the scratch in the head. Could do with a proper fix, but love this little guitar. I actually quite like it. It is comparable with the Gibson SG, very much so. But pickup height's been set, string heights have been set, everything's been done to my liking. Whether the owner likes it or not is a thing to be seen. Okay, bye bye.